Washington dinner shooter in court. The Onion buys INFOWARS, and homes are being shipped from China. This is the foundation. Current events for April 27th, 2026. I am Sot L, Seeker of Truth L, Speaker of Truth L. And I would like to welcome you to, this episode of Current Events. Wow, what's happening? Make sure you check out welcome to thefoundation.com. Sign up for the email list. We had our first live trustee training. I used to do this a few years back. I stopped. Now I'm doing it again. I do a weekly training call every Sunday, which is a part of trustee training. I got to figure out how we're going to do this, right? Because we're going to restructure some stuff. But currently, if you're interested in what we're calling legacy trustee training, because it's part of the legacy of the foundation, we used to do a weekly training here for trustee training. Email me personally, admin at welcometothefoundation.com, mostly for community, for comprehension, and those who are looking to be active trustees. You actually going to do something with the information and better your life, better your family's life. That's what we're all about. So admin at welcometothefoundation.com. That's all I'm going to say. Let's check out silver. So we got silver dropped. It's down to 76. Last time I checked it, it was around $78. I was in a trade in silver. I got out. We have things not looking too good on the, the convergence side of the MACD. $76, about 3 cents going in and out. Gold itself is at $4,696. Excuse me. We also have, as we always look at, the difference in prices between the Eastern spot price, which is $84.66 for an ounce of silver. And we have our spot price over here, the Western spot price, $76.09. And that's right around what this price is here, the live price. Dollar cost average. Silver, in my opinion, it's an industrial metal, as well as a precious metal. So you have it being used in industry, solar panels, fillings, PCB boards, a lot of things, batteries. It's used in so many different things. It's ridiculous. It's used in medications. It's used in clothing. The Lululemon stuff has silver in it. It helps to kill the bacteria so you don't stink. It's in a lot of things. I would say personally, my personal opinion is more valuable than gold. As I said, dollar cost average, $10, $25, $50, $100 every 2 weeks, every month. Go to a We Buy Gold shop or a coin dealer, and then understand that spot price, $76 for an ounce. That is for the paper price. When you go into the actual dealership, you're going to be paying around 80 something bucks for an ounce of silver. It's normal. Spot price. Just, you'll hear it. Absolute chaos. Gunman charges White House correspondents' dinner. He hit the checkpoint. Trump was inside. A lone actor armed with a shotgun, with a blouse. My man's had a blouse. Charged a security checkpoint at the White House Correspondents Association dinner on Saturday and exchanged gunfire with law enforcement, sparking chaos inside the ballroom where President Donald Trump and other dignitaries were rushed from the stage. Quote, "It is clear, based upon what we know so far, that this individual was intent on doing as much harm and as much damage as he could," end quote. This was U.S. Attorney for D.C., Jeanine Pirro. Speaking to reporters, the White House, just hours after the incident, Trump praised law enforcement for their quick response and vowed the annual dinner would be rescheduled within 30 days. Okay, so we got this guy, suspect to appear in court. And of course, this is today. The man accused of shooting the U.S. Secret Service agent as he tried to breach security at the Washington dinner where President Trump was present, is expected in court today. Cole Thomas Allen, 31, Torrance, California. There it is. I want to show you something, though. Judge, Trump can't claim that entire White House ballroom project is needed for national security. Just stick with me here. 1 second. They tried to get us. They can't get us. A federal judge. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me go back, right? Let me go back. What did I do? This is live, y'all, so bear with me. April 16th. I want to show you the date. This is right here. Look, April 16th. I'm trying to do it. Just look at the screen. It's blue. April 16th, 2026. Trump can't claim that entire White House ballroom project is needed for national security. Okay? Let's read this. Let's check it out. A federal judge has again ordered President Donald Trump to pause construction of a massive new ballroom at the White House, rejecting the president's disingenuous bid to circumvent an earlier ruling against the project by claiming that it needed to proceed for national security reasons. The ruling on Thursday, this is probably April 14th or something, from senior U.S. District Judge Richard Leon, is the latest development in a winding legal saga around the controversial ballroom. Y'all following me? Which the judge said last month was being built unlawfully since Congress hadn't expressly approved it. Leon, an appointee of former President George W. Bush, carved out an exception so that crews could continue working on a highly sophisticated bunker being installed under the proposed ballroom, but Trump had contended that the entire project was covered by that loophole since the above ground structure advances critical national security objectives as an integrated whole. Leon forcefully rejected that argument in his latest decision, accusing the president of advancing an incredible, if not disingenuous, reading of his earlier ruling. Quote, defendants argue that the entire ballroom construction project from tip to tail falls within the safety and security exception and therefore may proceed unabated. That is neither a reasonable nor a correct reading of my order. And no, we'll continue with the quote. National security is not a blank check to proceed with otherwise unlawful activity, and belated assertions that the above ground ballroom is inseparable from an array of security features are not an occasion for this court to reweigh the equities or reconsider the preliminary injunction, end quote, Leon wrote. The judge reiterated that crews could continue working on the bunker and could proceed with other work, quote, necessary to ensure the safety, security, and structural integrity of the White House, end quote, and its grounds. But he made clear that absent congressional approval of the ballroom, no above ground construction, none, zero, none, zero, could continue except work to cover and secure the facilities being built underground. Okay? You follow me, right? Okay, so shooting suspect charged with attempted assassination of Trump at the Washington dinner. Let's scroll down a little bit, right? Just a little. Oh. Let's keep going. Whereas security. Oh, okay. So this probably updates. I was looking at this earlier, right? They're showing the guns. Blanche. Patel. We're gonna look at this together. Where we got 13. So this is earlier. Where was this? This morning when I saw it, right? No. Just stay with me. I promise it'll be worth it. I promise it'll be worth it. I tried to click on it earlier and it just wasn't working. So I had to keep it on this page. But man, where is it? That's the kind of world. It's 10:35. Suspect. Did they change it? Anyways, man, I should look for it. I don't like doing this stuff live though. Scene of shooting, social media. Let me go back to page 2. More details. I'm live though. So what happened was the the building was going to continue. Hold on, let me see if I can let's do Google real quick. That's not going to work. You ever search Google? It's funny, isn't it? I didn't mean to do that. So, ballroom construction to continue. Let's see if we can find it. Y'all rolling with me. Just roll with me. Oh, I found it. Look, building of Trump's White House ballroom can resume in full. Isn't that interesting? Let's keep it moving because that took too long. Tired of high costs? Some Americans are importing homes straight from China. Oh, they try to get us. CNN. No. I'm not even going to try to. Yeah, I will. Gennady Saigan. I'm only going to try that once. Knows how expensive it is to build a home in the United States. That's why he imported almost everything from his dream house from China. Most of his fixtures for his home were imported directly from over 24 factories. And Saigan, an engineer in Baltimore, flew halfway around the world in 2024 to choose some of those products. His home is cozy but industrial, standing out in a sea of Baltimore's colonials and ranches. It's made out of gray fiber cement but has welcoming floor-to-ceiling windows and an open kitchen. Saigan, from now on, I'm just going to say he, if they say his name again. He is proud of even the smallest features, such as doors with a magnetic lock to achieve a silent click and European-style windows. The home is on track for LEED certification. He adds, building home is a project of a lifetime, and I treat it as an adventure and try to have fun, he said. That's how I came to trying to import some building materials from China. With high cost of home construction, more Americans are becoming curious about working with Chinese suppliers on their renovations. The price of home construction materials in the United States increased by 3% from last year, according to the National Association of Home Builders. And since 27% of those materials came from China in 2023, some U.S. home builders are thinking of skipping the middleman like Home Depot and local contractors. The China renovation hack is also all over American homeowners' social media feeds. A woman who said she allegedly turned down a $50,000 cabinet, quote, locally to import from China, got more than 165,000 likes. And others share vendor lists. Chinese manufacturers also advertise directly to social media users, saying they can deliver cabinets, tiles, and any other materials to your front door. Man, you buying a house from China? Let's go. At least 10 people tied to sensitive U.S. research have died or disappeared in recent years, sparking federal investigation. Interesting. A nuclear physicist. Oh, wow. Wow, y'all. Roast me. A nuclear physicist and MIT professor fatally shot outside his Massachusetts residence. A retired Air Force general missing from his New Mexico home. An aerospace engineer who disappeared during a hike in Los Angeles. These are among at least 10 individuals connected to sensitive U.S. nuclear and aerospace research who have died or disappeared in recent years, prompting concerns whether they are connected and fueling speculation online about the possibility of nefarious activity. The FBI now says it is spearheading the effort to look for connections into the missing and deceased scientists, adding that it is working with the Department of Energy, Department of War, and with our state and local law enforcement partners to find answers. Separately, the Republican-led House Oversight Committee announced Monday it will investigate reports of the deaths and disappearances of individuals. This was last Monday, whom it said had access to sensitive scientific information. The reports raised questions about a possible sinister connection between the deaths and disappearances. The committee said in its statement, seeking briefings on the matter from the FBI, the Defense Department, the Department of Energy, and NASA. The Defense Department said only that it would respond to the committee directly, and the Department of Energy referred questions to the White House. This is, I don't know if you pay attention to stuff like this, but this is something to pay attention to. What else we got? San Francisco shop is run completely by AI. The tech founders behind the San Francisco convenience store that is fully operated by an AI model say the shop offers a peek at what the future could look like. Axel Backlund, and Lucas Peterson have handed over the reins of their Andon Market convenience store to an AI model referred to as Luna, which has since taken over complete control of the shop, with the founders free to sit back and observe. Quote, "Our goal is to understand how AI models behave when they're put in situations that we think will happen a lot in the future," end quote. Together, Backlund and Peterson run Andon Labs, which specializes in understanding how autonomous AI will operate in the real world. Backlund said the pair signed the lease on a storefront, explained the instructions to Luna with a fairly simple prompt, and then decided to let the cards fall where they would. The founders said the AI began by focusing on brand designs and item selection, scanning the internet for goods, including candles, granola, and books. Once items were ordered and arrived at the shop, Peterson said Luna decided they needed a, quote, physical presence in the store to, open every day. While the human jobs were first completed by Andon lab team members, Luna eventually took to Indeed to complete full-blown candidate search. The AI model created a job listing, posted it on Indeed and other job sites, and invited 20 candidates back for a phone interview, extending job offers to a handful of them. Quote, "Sometimes Luna was a bit too excited and gave job offers in the call after 3 minutes," said Peterson. Other times she was very, very, her bar was very high. So even people with very good resumes, with computer science backgrounds and stuff like that, she rejected. The founder said throughout the hiring process, they did not intervene with their AI model's work. They only observed. They said they would see Luna pass on candidates with strong understanding of AI whom they figured would be a good fit for the job. Luna was like, "No, this person does not have retail experience," said Backlund. According to Andon's website, Luna disclosed its AI identity when directly asked, but didn't always lead with it. The founders reiterated that this practice was purely experimental, and they are not executing this experiment to prove that it is the best way to do business. Yep. You ready to go to the AI store? I'm not. Global consumer companies face pricing stress tests from oil shock. I was talking about this. The fragile demand recovery seen by consumer companies globally is at risk of getting stalled by chances of more price hikes as a result of soaring energy and commodity costs due to the Middle East conflict. U.S. consumer giants Procter & Gamble flagged a roughly $1 billion hit to its fiscal 2027 profit as higher crude prices hurt packaging, plastic, materials, and logistics. The warning is a clear sign that the oil shock is adding pressure on companies to raise prices worldwide to tide over the growing costs across their supply chains that have now begun to squeeze profit margins. A Reuters review of company statements since the war began shows 24 companies have withdrawn or cut financial guidance. 35 have flagged price increases, and another 36 have warned of a financial hit. Quote, "Inflation across food, energy, healthcare, and many other areas of spending has taken a toll on consumers and how they assess value. Recent geopolitical events have elevated this to a new level of concern." End quote. This is P&G Finance Chief Andre Schulten, who was speaking on an earnings call. In short, the consumer path to purchase is changing every day, and there is going to be more intense period of change over the next 3 to 5 years. Exactly. This time around, consumer staples companies will try their best to pass on any extra costs, but they might struggle. That means they're passing them on to the consumers. Consumer heavyweights such as Unilever, Coca-Cola, Kleenex maker Kimberly-Clark, and Cadbury owner Mondelez are yet to outline the impact of higher energy prices on their businesses. They will report quarterly results this week. This is getting serious. I hope y'all are, grabbing what you can while you can, and, grabbing an extra can or box or two while you can afford it and while it's available, because This is just getting started. OpenAI breaks off Microsoft exclusivity to free up path for Amazon and Google deals. Microsoft will no longer have exclusive access to OpenAI's artificial intelligence models and products, a significant change that will allow the startup to sell its technology across rival cloud platforms, including Amazon and Google. Following the joint statement, Microsoft shares slipped about 1% in pre-market trading on Monday, as some investors saw this shift as the company losing a valuable competitive advantage. Microsoft has in recent years emerged as a major player in the AI race, benefiting from its early bet on OpenAI that allowed it to quickly launch AI technology across its products. But tensions have been rising between the companies over the tie-up as OpenAI strikes cloud deals with rival companies and investors scrutinize Microsoft's alliance with OpenAI. The Financial Times reported in March Microsoft was weighing legal action against Amazon and OpenAI over a $50 billion cloud deal that could breach its exclusive cloud partnership. Under the reworked partnership, Microsoft will remain OpenAI's primary cloud partner and will hold a license to, y'all see that? And will hold. I don't know what that means. Will hold a license to ChatGPT's creator intellectual property through 2032. Microsoft will also not pay a revenue share to OpenAI. And I bet you OpenAI had to pay Microsoft some money to get out of this deal. I bet you. It was about the money. Renewables in vogue as Iran war drives up Europe power prices. As the Iran war disrupts global flows of oil and gas and energy prices skyrocketed, the Drin River, which descends through mountains of North Albania, is acting as a kind of shield swelled by winter rains and snowmelt and dotted with hydroelectric dams built during communist times. The river's power provides more than 90% of the Balkan country's electricity output, helping to keep wholesale prices in check. Albania is an example of how countries with a higher renewables output have been protected from steep rises in electricity prices since the United States and Israel attacked Iran on February 28th. Price comparisons across Europe show that could help households, businesses, and growth in those countries as the price impact trickles down to ordinary consumers in the coming months. It could also bolster as Europe green energy transitions. Power price differences emerge across Europe. This is coming here too. I just want to touch on this. Let's go. We're on borrowed time. This is Vital LNG chief, liquid natural gas, warns of coming food price shock. Every day this trade remains closed and everyday production does not come back, we are building a problem for the future. And we are building a problem that, as I said, will be transferred from the energy side into many different sectors, with the food sector being a very important one. This is Galante Escobar. He works as the world's biggest independent energy trader, or I don't understand how these people write these days. Galante Escobar continued, this is not sustainable, or the energy crisis will become a food crisis. Only gas can supply the feed for fertilizers. We are building a problem for the future. He added that even if the Hormuz choke point reopened today, it could still take 3 to 5 months for undamaged LNG, liquid natural gas, production to fully recover. Longer term, the Gulf market could lose about 20 million tons per year of liquid natural gas supply growth in 2027 and 2028 because of damage to Qatari capacity and delays to new regional projects. Galante Escobar is correct that the second and third order effects of Gulf-related LNG supply disruptions are already rippling through the global fertilizer chain, sending prices sharply higher and triggering shortages across critical agriculture belts. The downstream risk has been very clear. Reduced fertilizer availability and higher input costs threaten to dent crop harvest yields later this year. In other words, this potentially sets the stage for a food price inflation spike. Also, at the FT Commodities Summit, Julien Bordeaux, global head of LNG at Mercuria, said the previously expected global LNG glut that was expected to swamp the world had been postponed. with the 2026 market getting shorter. It's going to hit food, and we're looking at, fall. You're going to really feel it this fall. Supreme Court waives geofence warrants for cell phone data. For generations, cops have obtained warrants to lawfully seek information from a specific suspect in a crime. The Supreme Court, today is considering whether investigators can also use so-called geofence warrants to do the reverse, scanning cell phone data of thousands of innocent individuals in hopes of finding a suspect to apprehend. This is something I'm paying attention to. I used to say, the public is locking down. It's continuing to lock down. The lockdown is getting tighter and tighter. I'm paying attention to this. The landmark case is the first time the justices will consider whether the controversial practice of digital dragnets, which have grown in popularity among law enforcement with advances in technology, violate constitutional protections against unreasonable searches. Critics say the warrants intrude on Americans' reasonable expectation of privacy by compelling service providers to turn over broad swaths of user location history and timestamps within a specified area over a specified time frame. Advocates for geofence warrants call them critical tools, or a critical tool that will help police more quickly solve crimes, in turn making communities safer. They also emphasize that most cell phone users knowingly transmit location data to third-party tech companies, but not to the police. So this is basically, if a crime happens in a certain location within a certain time window, what they do is the law enforcement will subpoena the records from all of the major phone companies, and they want the IMEI numbers and geo location data for every phone that was in this location within this time. That's what this case is about. It's important to me. The Onion reaches new deal to take over Alex Jones' INFOWARS. I didn't even, I heard that he lost a case. I think it was maybe those comments he said about the children or whatever. So I heard he lost a case or something, or his company lost a case. Somebody lost a case, and that he lost his company. But I just thought it was maybe, a bunch of talk, really, because I don't know. There's a bunch of fake news out here, but I guess it's true. Satirical news site The Onion said it has reached an agreement to take over conspiracy theorist Alex Jones's INFOWARS company, and a move that could help repay the more than $1 billion he owes the families of Sandy Hook. Wow. Should The Onion win court approval, it would cap a legal saga lasting more than 18 months over the future of Jones's website and show. Quote, "We've wanted this the whole time. We have not backed down at any moment," end quote. The Onion CEO Ben Collins told CNN in an interview. Under the agreement and with the support of the Sandy Hook families, The Onion will initially pay a monthly licensing fee to the court-appointed receiver overseeing INFOWARS. Collins said the company has also signed a deal to purchase the full assets, once the current judicial stay expires. Jones was found liable for defamation in 2022 after repeatedly claiming on air that the 2012 Sandy Hook massacre, in which 6 adults and 20 children were killed, was a hoax. Dang. That's what he was doing? He has yet to pay a single cent of the more than $1 billion in damages he owes to the families. As a result, Jones's assets went up for sale. In 2024, The Onion won a court-mandated auction for INFOWARS' parent company, backed by the families from Sandy Hook. But a federal bankruptcy judge halted the sale, citing concerns about the auction process and disputes over the bids. The judge later said the family should pursue what they're owed in state court rather than in federal level. In August 2025, the state court ruled that INFOWARS' parent company would be turned over to the court-appointed receiver, who would be responsible for selling the assets and using the proceeds to pay Jones's debt to the Sandy Hook families. Quote, "It's been 8 years and 3 days since Sandy Hook families initially filed the lawsuit, and they have not received an effing penny. So we're excited to get them immediate pennies with some merch sales, but also longer term pennies once we do wind up eventually straight up buying this thing." The new INFOWARS will operate as a digital platform and comedy network led by creative director Tim Heidecker. Heidecker. It's one of those. It's one of those, I promise. Of Tim and Eric fame, who will parody Jones himself. This is weird. Man, the news is getting wild. The news is getting wild, y'all. Maybe it's just me. I'm really interested to know what y'all think in the comments. I mean, from the judge saying that the White House ballroom couldn't be done, then there's a shooting, now it can be done, to this, whatever this is. So they're going to take his website and parody him and then use it. That's interesting. Man, that's why they can't do. If you operate through a private trust, they can't do that. I'm just going to be honest. They can't do that because these companies are registered or created by the state. The corporations, they're state corporations. I know I'm ranting. I know. I'm sorry. You can't do that with a private trust because the state has no jurisdiction over the contract. It's wild. It's wild. Please leave a comment. I'm really interested in what y'all think. I appreciate y'all. Y'all enjoy yourself. Take care of yourself. Make sure you say 10 things that you're thankful for before you go to sleep tonight and every night. It's very important. And I'll catch y'all tomorrow on Current Events. Peace, y'all.